Hi, Geometry. All right, so you should be looking at this sheet in front of you that you picked up when you came in the room today. It says 4-2 homework, triangle congruence, more practice. It's essentially a homework sheet that I'm borrowing from Ms. Beisenhertz that we're going to do an activity with. So essentially, popcorn. Essentially, it says for the following figures, tell whether you can prove triangles congruent. If you can, tell which theorem you would use and make a congruent statement. So, if you look at number 1, it says, yes, no, theorem. I'm recording. If you want some, you have to come get it. My wife behind me, Mrs. Brummond.
Hi, Colton.
So it says, this might make a difference. Those of you who were like, Mr. Brummond, we can't hardly hear you. There's the microphone. That might help. All right, so it says, for number 1, I have a side, I have an angle, and then that's it for this triangle. So initially you'd be like, oh no, there's nothing else going on. They're not congruent, but we have to dig a little deeper because you could add in that BD is congruent to itself. Remember, everything's congruent to itself because of the reflexive property of congruence. So you can add that in. Go ahead and do that now. So you're going to add in 2 congruency hash marks.
Are those like hashtags?
They're not like hashtags.
They're hash marks.
My wife's back there talking. No, they're like, I mean, if you had enough hash marks together, you could make a hashtag. You need 4. But if you're putting more than 3 on a triangle, you're crazy. Or you teach science. One of the 2.
Oh.
Burn. So you got 2 hash marks here. So now you have side, angle, side. SAS, that's a theorem. So that would be yes. And then the theorem would be SAS, SAS. I can't write on this. At least I don't think I can. Maybe. Let's find out. I'll be right back. All right, so I thought I could write on it, and I tried writing, but then it disappeared. So I don't know. Maybe I can't. Beats me. I tried. So anyway, yes, and then theorem would be SAS. Your congruent statement is then the triangle. So what I would do is start at something. I'm going to start at A, and then see what I travel along. I travel along 1 congruency mark, or 1 hash mark, 1 arc, and then 2 congruency marks. So that would be triangle ABD. So triangle ABD is congruent to triangle CBD. Order is important. So if you don't have that, it's okay. You just have to make sure that you have the right order following both triangles. Essentially, if you were to trace it, you would trace the same triangle. So from A to B, that's the same as from C to B. So you start with the same area. What I would like for you to do is I would like for you to go ahead and work on this. This is not a solo project. I expect you to work with your table. Whatever you decide to come up with to work as your table, that's fine. Just know that you have until the bell rings to try and finish as many as you can. What I would like for you to do is if you get to one that you don't know or if you're unsure, put a question mark next to that. We'll go over those specifically in class. There's a few I'm expecting should have more question marks than in the others, so I'm going to focus on those first. And when you get done, you're going to hit, some of them get more difficult, like here, number 15 and 16. These actually use numbers instead of hash marks. Same 17, 18. Then when you get to this last page, this includes some additional things. Some of the things is just you kind of me testing your knowledge. Do you know what's going on here? This is all stuff we've done before. So you can do it. I believe in you. And this part on the bottom, 27, is review. Please finish that. So you have the rest of the class period, which is around 40 minutes or so, not including if I have you for lunch. So best of luck. And bye-bye. Say bye, Mrs. Brummond.
Bye, Mrs. Brummond.